This is a short video over Tai Chi walking and turning around. I've made several other videos over this topic, and I'm going to try to simplify it even more, and also at the same time just kind of go back over some of the details. There are different variations of we'll say the walking itself, and I'm going to address that first. And in this video, I'm only going to use like a mid or a narrow stance. Okay, so a lot of when you see people do Tai Chi, they're very upright like this, right? And when they move through, it's almost as if they're just shifting back and forth. And nothing wrong with that. It puts the body in motion. But we want to take it a little step further because I really want to strengthen the flexor muscles, like in the glutes and the legs. I want to strengthen this stuff because a lot of people, when they're walking, just their day-to-day walking, they will kind of be like this, and they'll take what I call a half step. They won't really put the toe or the heel in front of the toe like this, and they're like this. And some of that is the strength in the buttocks and the legs. As the person goes to go forward, there's not enough strength in here to kick the leg out like they want. And so in what I teach, Chang Shi Taijiquan, we really engage the hips to give us that forward force that we want. And I'm going to use a large stance to kind of give more of an example. But we really open the hip and drive, right? Like this again. See how much I come down and I drive. And even if I do it as a more narrow stance, I'm still same thing. I'm going to open up this hip and drive myself, see? Like this. Or if I step through, I'm going to really load it and open it and drive. Okay? Do like this, drive. Instead of me just shifting into the knee or pulling the foot up and shifting forward. Yes, this works we'll say the hips and the legs, but not at the same level. The unique thing about, well, it's not that it's unique, but we emphasize it. That's what makes it unique. The core people that do Tai Chi, they're purely doing it for health and wellness. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And I encourage that. It is great for the overall body. It's gentle enough that you can do it at any age. But if I have that martial mindset, I'm more, if I'm trying to punch somebody and I'm just shifting this way, the probability that I'm going to be able to engage the body enough to really generate enough power to push this person away from me or hit this person, it would be like driving with your car with the emergency brake on, as an example. But if I really load and I drive, I can put all of this into my punch or into my push, what have you. So keeping that martial mindset, even as me as a teacher, and I say I'm teaching somebody that's 70 and they're purely doing this for their strength and their mobility. It's better for them to try to engage the body in that way, even though they're not using it for martial application, to ensure that they're maximizing the strength development and the mobility that they can get out of it. So back to the person walking, right? Usually, again, when they're walking like this, it's either the muscles in the core, right, our abdominals and the obliques and the lumbar they're just not strong enough, and so the person will kind of let the torso kind of collapse on itself a little bit. Or they're trying to do this so that it helps them to put the leg out, we'll say, in front. because this into here is not strong enough. Other people, it may be other things, like maybe it's a spinal issue, right? When I'm not talking about that today. I'm just purely talking about muscles and ligaments and the stiffness, right? I mean, sometimes say the person, they become inactive for, I don't know, a few years, a few months, and so all of this becomes stiff or it becomes tight and it becomes sore, and by just shifting, you can potentially overcome that, right? By doing it this way or this kind of stuff. But the sooner that I can start trying to engage this and drive with those leg muscles and utilize these muscles in here, get them to activate, the sooner I'm going to develop that strength and get my mobility back. And you know, a lot of people in Tai Chi, they say, well, you know, you shouldn't do things to work the muscles, or you shouldn't engage the muscles, that everything should be effortless. Well, by that logic, you know, if I do something like, say, a single whip, and I'm going to do this effortlessly, right? And I'm not going to contract these large muscles to do that. Well, you have to start somewhere. Meaning, it doesn't matter, even if you're 40 and you want to do this movement, in the beginning, you're going to, you know, your stability is not going to be there. It's a new movement to you, or you're working muscles that you maybe haven't, and you need them to stabilize the body, etc. Right? And so you're going to have to put some strength into it in the beginning. So I don't agree with that methodology. Yes, things should get effortless, right? Like if you pick the same 1 mile space, or track, or a road, or whatever it is, and today you started walking, of course your heart rate's going to go up. Potentially the muscles are going to get sore. You're going to be maybe, you know, having to work really hard to get through that mile. And then if you start doing that, well, just for what I'm talking about, is you start doing it every day. Sooner than later, your heart rate is going to keep going down until it's just at its baseline, right? And the muscles are going to quit being sore because they've gotten stronger, and your overall body is going to be more accepting of it. So we want to be able to do that with the Tai Chi, but if we're not maximizing the movement, we're not going to be able to, you know, maybe we're doing it here when we could really do it up here. But we got to have something in between it, right? You just can't tell somebody, well, you have to do it effortlessly. And how do you get there? Well, you get there by strengthening the body, making the body more limber and loose, developing your ability to use your structure better, all of those things. But all of that goes back to developing strength and increasing the mobility of the body. If I was going to do it for application, back to that again, right? Because I have people that come to me that train this stuff purely for the kicks and the punches and the throws and the controls and all of that stuff. Just like I have other people in their 70s and even 80s that come purely for the health and the wellness aspect to get that strength and mobility training. If they didn't try to, for a better word, train these movements and increase their strength and their mobility. And when I say mobility, that's a generalized term to include everything from range of motion to, you know, pliability, flexibility, all of that. But if they don't do things to maximize, and they're just doing it up here, and they're not really engaging and loading the body and doing all this, they're never going to develop the performance level to execute the movements in reality. And if I'm doing it for my day-to-day, right, for my health and you know, wellness is a combination of things, right? I want it to, if I'm doing it so I can go to the park, or I want to go on a trip or something, and I need my body to be as healthy and vibrant and vigorous as I can have it, so I can go for that 3 hours in that afternoon to go, I don't know, go to all those antique stores, right? Or you're going to go to some park or, you know, state park, and you want to go for a hike or something. We want to be able to do things with our Tai Chi that will help us to do those things, just as much as for the younger people that do Tai Chi with me, to be able to use it for functional self-defense. So, if you're watching this and you come to me, or you're doing Tai Chi just from YouTube, or you try something else, again, try it from here, sit on the butt, drive forward. See, bend the knee again. If I need to turn the foot because my stance is really wide, the wider I get it, the more I'm going to turn this so I have a base. But if I'm up here narrow, right, I load, I transfer the weight here. I take a little off so I can slightly turn it, and then now the weight is here, and I'm going to transfer into this leg. I reload this leg, I tighten it a little bit, I step through, engage, and I drive. But this action right here is so important to be able to get all of this stuff to work, like it, we'll say in certain situations, like it used to. Or maybe you've had an injury and you've been down for a little while. This type of natural movement that's gentle on the joints, and at the same time it works the muscles and all of that, it is great. As it relates to the turning around, I'm going to do this like this. Try to use this a little bit as a straight edge. So I have this here, right? And my feet are on this line. And I'm going to turn this way. I don't want to necessarily turn like this. Now there's a martial art that I teach called Wing Chun, and this would be really pretty common to have my toes and my heels relatively on the same line, or even, kind of slightly back so it's almost in the middle, but predominantly like this. But the stance is really narrow. What we want to work on is having the width of my feet, we'll say at least as wide as my shoulders to start, okay? If you're younger, like there's a guy that comes to me that I've been pushing recently, and he's doing a large frame and a low base, and I'm really pushing him, and it's demanding to do that. But he's in his mid-30s, okay? If you're 70, okay, maybe different. We want to stick with a narrow stance. We just want to work on this engagement. So look, I'm going to step so that at least my toe is behind my heel. Now, if I'm not doing this for application, it's not necessarily as important, but I would want to turn from the rear to the front. But in this situation, my weight's here already. So look, I can turn this side and then turn this side. Right now I'm facing this direction. And then this is fine to get the hang of it. Right? Later, I maybe want to drive with this leg to turn it. But right now, if I want, as I'm practicing, the weight's here. So look, I'm just going to turn my femur on this side. I didn't try to force my whole hip to turn like that, right? I opened this side up. And now I'm going to, as I transfer the weight to this leg, I turn this foot. If I want to go back the other way, I'm just going to reverse the process, right? I'm going to keep the weight here, turn this foot, but I didn't turn this side. I turned the femur. My hip is facing this way. Now I'm going to turn this foot. I can step back up, step back. So as long as this foot is behind this foot, and then when I turn, my weight is here, I can turn this foot and turn this foot. Right, the weight's here. I'll say I want to turn this foot first. I'll shift the weight. I turn the foot. I'll put the weight back here. I turn the foot. And I step back up. I step back. I turn. I turn. Weight's here. I turn. Weight's here. I turn. I step up. Step back. I turn back, and step up. You don't have to do the extra move. You can do it like this, right? Like, so I'm here, and I step, and I turn, right? And then if I want to turn the other side, I can just step back again and turn. The problem is that sooner or later, I'm going to end up getting to the wall. There are other ways, we'll say, to turn, right? I'm here, and I can smooth it out, right? Or I'm here, I can smooth it out. Don't worry about that in the beginning. Just ensure, in the beginning, the most important thing is that I'm stepping so that when I turn, I have that base that's the width of my feet. So if we took 4 of these squares, right? If I'm like this, I want to have that width here and here. If I turn back to the front, I want to have that same width. If I turn to the other side, same thing, I want to have that width. That's key. It keeps my stability, my balance. But people will do this kind of stuff. They won't take full steps. And so then when they turn, their stance is narrowed. And so it'll take away some of we'll say, the play or the mobility in the hip. We don't want to do that. Another thing that people will do, especially those with a weaker core or weak muscles in the buttocks and the legs, is that when they turn, they will kind of kick the body out like that. Now, if you watch me, I'm in this direction, right? So some Tai Chi styles are like this, see? And some are here. So Master Chang's Tai Chi is like this. Wu style is like this, where the body is in this line. And this really helps to strengthen these muscles. But when I turn, look, my body is upright. It's when I transfer here. And look, nothing is past my foot, right? I'm like this, nothing is on this side of my foot. When they say that, the waist, the upper body shouldn't go over the feet, I'm not doing that. The wider I get, the more I'm going to be in this elongated position. I can even do it up here with a narrow, and I can still be in this way. My body is behind my foot. And I'm not, for a better word, my hip, my torso is not bending forward, right? The muscles, everything is in a really great alignment to support me. Same thing, though, if you wanted those that do it like more upright, they have to have this knee bent a little bit, right? And everything is here. And they're shifting like this into the knee joint. Okay? I don't want to shift into my knee joint. I don't want to transfer the force into this knee if I have, say, bad joints. And also, I don't want to transfer to my knee if I want to use it for application. If I want to strike this person, I don't want to push the stuff into my knee. I want everything to go into the hand. So when I do it, I want it to be here. I want to combine this together. The same thing about rolling on the foot. I want to engage these muscles. I don't want to just shift like this and push into the joint or roll back into the ankle. So I'm not using this as much as I could. I would rather be here, right? Foot's on the ground, or here, right? I didn't press into this joint. That's really, really important. The other thing is those that, so I'm like this, and they use this type of stance, but they'll round the back. We don't want to round the lower back. We don't want to pinch anything, right? We want the back loose, right? So I'm here. The muscles in the beginning, yes, it's going to be difficult, right? But as these start to strengthen and the back starts to loosen up and everything starts to relax, all of that will go away, and it will get effortless, but not right away. That's not logical thinking. So anyway, I hope that helps. And just a little review. Remember, again, I can make it much smoother. I'm just looking at it, we'll say real square or angular right now. And so say I did a brush knee, right? And then I want to turn around. I'll step up, step back, and I'll turn again, right? I want to do another one back the other way, right? So I take the weight off, turn the foot, step up, step back, turn. When you kind of get that down, then you can make it softer or rounder, right? So I want to turn. I'm going to do it here, right? I want to step up, step back. And in the beginning, just here, right? And again, back to the walking. Do yourself a favor, right? If you're going to come into Tai Chi to improve your strengthening your mobility, be sure that when you're doing your Tai Chi walking and your day-to-day walking, that you're being conscious of this. Am I stepping out past my other foot? Really, really important. I don't want to take half steps. And if it's because the muscles in the core or in the legs are weak, then slow it down a little bit and really try to engage. If you just take the time to practice the turning and the stepping in this way, and put some real effort into it for a couple of weeks, you'll push yourself up to a little bit to another point, and then you can smooth it out and make it look much cleaner. And it'll help with all the other all of the postures, right? I mean, I need to be able to move with everything. Even me walking backwards, like something like repulse the monkey. See how I'm engaged? I'm really trying to use all of these muscles. So I hope that helps anybody that might watch the video, and it's just a simple way to look at these movements. I'm not trying to complicate it, and in this video, I'm really trying to make it about the two core things that people that come to Tai Chi for that are not coming to it for application. And that's to improve the overall strength, which in turn improves the balance and the body's stability and its structure and all of those things. And the mobility, right? The mobility to be able to move the legs and to be able to turn and step, so that I can use those two attributes to improve my body so that I can improve the quality of my lifestyle. And again, if I'm doing it for martial application, I really need those two attributes to improve my ability to execute the movements, either against a willing or unwilling person. So anyway, I really try to make these videos kind of a balance so that depending on who's watching and what they might get out of it. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you get something out of it.